From KMUW Wichita,
From Toronto, Ontario,
and from Armenia, Spain,
this is You're Saying It Wrong. Let's talk words. Well, hi, you two, the Petruses, plural, more than one Petrus, Petruses. I understand we got a listener question about plurals specifically, more than one plurals.
Fletcher, what an amazingly astute segue you just did.
I thought it was an intuitive segue as well, because he seemed to have divined, Ross, what we're going to be talking about.
He did. A pair of Petri. Yes.
It is all, Zach in Brooklyn wrote us a very brief email. Very brief. Zach is a man of few words. He says, don't know why this bugs me, but it does. Why is it pair of pants when it's one garment? Can you make this make any sense?
There's a really fun answer to that. It's all over the net. And it says that pants were originally pantaloons, and they were consisted of two separate items, one for each leg, and then they were secured around the waist, which is a wonderful little etymology. Putting one pant on.
Probably not true, right? That can't be true.
Fletcher, there you go again. You're completely correct. It's wrong. Doesn't seem true at all.
I thought it was a nice idea. I like this idea of one pant and then the other pant.
I like it. I wish it were true, actually.
It could be. It's just that there's no sources to back it up. So you never know. No, it's not. It's not the case. What it is Ross. There's a pants is a plurale.
Yes,
tantum. Plurale tantum.
It's hard to pronounce the plurale part, but yes, you're right, Kathy.
Yeah, you want to do pru.
I know you do.
Plurale.
Yeah.
Plurale tantum, which means plural only, as in a noun used in the plural form only.
Uh-huh.
So that's where you get like pants
or scissors.
Very good.
Very good, Fletcher. Or can you think of other ones?
You.
Yeah, think of other ones too, Fletcher. You got scissors.
I mean, I guess glasses. I mean, you literally do have two glasses when you're wearing glasses, but I mean, it is one thing, right? You pick up your glasses.
Yeah.
I want to interject and just say one thing though. Pants in the fashion industry, I remember this went back in the long ago when I started as an assistant buyer. You said pant. You did say pant. You said like, ooh, that's a really nice pant.
I remember you saying that about fashion specifically. You don't really hear that anywhere else, though. That seems like
it's a very specific,
affectations for for the specific jargon of the pant
of the business,
world, the fashion world,
the pant world.
On that level, I wonder if like the scissor manufacturing world.
Yeah, good question. Good question. Do they have their new line of scissor for?
That's
a very nice scissor you have.
That's a great scissor you got there, Maury. But scissor. You do say scissor for like a scissor kick, like as an adjective, singular.
Yes, you do. Very good, Kathy. That's right.
I just thought of that. And scissor as a verb.
Yep. You can scissor something. Yep. Mm-hmm. And you can also pant as well. Sorry, that's not even funny.
Oh, sadly, I thought it was.
Actually, I'm going to take a quick jaunt while you guys speak to see if what pant comes from, as in the verb. I'm just curious suddenly now. No, it's from Vulgar Latin, pantastare, to be oppressed with a nightmare.
Just to go back to Zach's question, it's not just pants, but it's a pair of pants.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Which is interesting because you don't say a pair of scissors. Do you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
You could. Yeah, you could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Interestingly enough, though, scissors, I'm looking it up, did start out as a singular noun.
Yeah, it did in Middle English. Yeah.
Well, and back to the Latin was a singular noun for cutting instrument. So the pair of the scissors, plural, became when they became the two blades were joined and became what we call scissors now.
Very good,
Right.
because the kaisarium was a cutting instrument. I'm
Kind
not
of
sure
like
it
a
was
knife, right?
I think it was. I don't really know, but I think you're right, Kathy.
I don't know
I
why
know
I'm
the
holding my
word,
finger
but
like a knife, but
yeah, no, I think that is it. But it's interesting what Fletcher just said, a pair of pants. But you don't say, we have another plural word, clothes, but you don't say a pair of clothes at all.
or a pair of glasses. Do you say pair of glasses?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
People
pair of
say that
glasses.
sometimes.
You do.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Fletcher,
But
don't
again,
ask why.
okay, no, with glasses, it's the same as with
Scissors.
Hmm.
scissors. It's like that was the
Right.
two different lenses.
Yeah,
So it was
exactly.
a glass and a glass, and it became a pair of glasses is what you wore.
Yep,
I mean,
exactly.
I guess it could be the same with pants. It's just why would anybody ever have one pant,
Mhm.
right?
Well, I could think of a reason, but it's,
Yeah.
and
No, I
if
think you're
you're,
right. I think you're
although
right.
like a pirate with a peg leg still wears a pair.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, that's
he
true.
folds up, but they always fold up the other leg, usually,
Well,
as
they
I
probably just
Yeah.
recall.
don't. They probably just don't usually make them with just one,
I just said,
right?
as I recall, as if I've seen a pirate with a peg leg. You know? But the other interesting thing is we have other plural verb nouns that don't have that, like riches. You would not, I mean, as in belongings or earnings, they're almost always used plural.
Mm. Yeah, you don't talk about my belonging.
No, that sounds something
Right.
like that sounds like you want to belong to somewhere,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. It sounds like
Mhm.
Mhm.
you don't say my riches. I mean, I never would say that because I'm not, I don't have
Because
many riches
I have none.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
And,
rich, my rich.
yeah, my rich. You don't say my earning, you say my earnings, which is
Right.
Yeah.
interesting too. And then going to another one, outskirts. Apparently, there used to be a single outskirt, but no one really says that in modern English. But we don't, in none of those cases do we say a pair of. We just say
No.
the plural in that case.
Yeah.
So in effect, we have two different kinds of plurals. One kind, I think, is logical. The
Pair
scissors,
of.
glasses, pair of, yeah. But the other kind isn't.
And
Except that
clothes.
it just makes it easier to distinguish between a noun and another form of speech,
Mhm.
another part of speech.
Yeah.
Belongings, as you said, my belonging. Although maybe that's still a noun. Anyway, my belonging. If I just said my belonging, then as you said, we would think you were talking about wanting to belong to something.
Yes,
So like having that plural does help
it
to distinguish it
distinguishes
at
it.
least. Yeah.
Yes. No, but it's interesting to hear what happens. One other thing I want to quickly point out, though, is it's very interesting in many early Indo-European languages, including ancient Greek, there was a specific form which was called the dual, and you would have like singular, dual, and then plural, and you would have a different ending to show that you were talking about a dual
About
thing.
a two thing.
And I
Yeah.
wonder
Mm-hmm.
if that pair of pants and all that is a relic of that. I have no idea, but I'm just sort of curious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of clothes now, because clothes comes from cloth, obviously.
Yes, it's
But
exactly from cloth. Yep.
yeah, but you don't. I mean, but it's always plural. And but I guess so. It's really just my cloths then.
That you just spoke great Old English. That's the original
Yeah,
word. It was the
yeah,
Yeah.
plural of cloth, and it was an
yeah.
article of clothing. But the new cloths came in, and they took a new plural form from that.
Mm.
And now, of course, we have clothes. So that the ending you don't really need actually when you think about it.
Oh, they do have. I just looked it up. Pants, and they do have a colloquial singular pant, but
Mm-hmm. Okay.
beginning in 1893. So there were people. So you would say colloquially pant. I don't know
A
if it was
pant.
the fashion industry back then too, but it could have
It
been.
could,
Your
yeah, definitely could have
haberdasher
been.
said
But
very nice pant.
it could also have just been people saying, "Hey, why do we have pants and not just a pant? Let's
Hmm.
start calling it a pant."
Yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, that goes into something really interesting. What about an older word that we don't use as much anymore? Trousers,
Oh,
Hmm.
sure.
plural too, and apparently was originally a singular trouse. The plural ending they tacked on things in pairs, which is
Hmm.
Hmm.
interesting.
Hmm.
And then also drawers. We
That's
don't use
true.
that
You're
anymore,
right.
but I just thought of that one.
You're
Yeah.
right. Tweezers, I just saw. Now, tweezers. Do you say tweezer ever? Hand me
No,
the tweezer?
no,
No. But that's like
no.
scissors again, I'm assuming. We're going back to
Yeah, I
the.
mean, I mean, I guess I don't know what tweeze originally meant, but you could have one scissor without the other
Mhm.
scissor because each is a cutting implement. You couldn't tweeze without two of them.
No, but there was an
No.
early word tweeze, which was for a case of surgical instruments from the 1600s.
Yeah.
So, wow, this is really, the plurals are getting more and more interesting as we go along here.
They're more than I realized because initially I thought, yeah, they're like five. You know
I know
what
what
I
you mean. You
mean?
think, then you're suddenly going on and on, tweezers, tweezes, and whatever. Yeah, no, it's really interesting.
Lederhosen. Sorry.
I guess in English you'd say lederhosens. Then I guess.
Overalls. You don't say
Overalls?
overall, do you?
That's true.
I'm putting on
No.
my overall. No.
No,
Mm-mm.
you don't. That's another one, Kath. That's good. Wow.
Oh. Well, Zach, see, it wasn't as quick as you thought, was it?
Yeah. Overall was a over and then all things, but then it became a quick plural, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
overall is really a portmanteau.
Yeah. A plural portmanteau. Wow. Here we go.
We're cooking with gas, as they say. Or as they
Well,
used to
enough
say.
of these shenanigans.
Another
plural.
That's true.
But
Very
do people
good.
use the word shenanigans
No
anymore?
one
Oh
does.
yeah.
I don't
Oh
think.
yeah.
Do they?
No,
Do they do?
Absolutely. Absolutely they do. Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. So have you ever heard of singular shenanigan? I don't think I ever
No.
have.
That's
No, I've
quite a
never heard
shenanigan we're
just one
planning.
shenanigan.
Okay. Thank you, Zach. This was actually, it sounded like a much simpler question and it ended up, we
Is
could
it
go
ever,
on,
though?
you realize, for a while.
Is it ever a simple question?
No,
Not
it's
with
English.
Yeah.
Speaking of simple questions, I understand you guys have some for me in a little
Mhm.
quiz for today.
This is a grab bag quiz, grammar and words, etymology, grammar, and no entomology, no insects in here, but
Oh,
we'll
thank
keep
goodness.
going. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's go. Kath, you want to read the first one?
Which of these words doesn't fit? The words are pound, nail, clock, and pet. Which does not fit?
Wow.
Let's repeat them
Wow.
again. Pound, nail, clock, and pet. This is a vocabulary aspect of our quiz here.
All right. I've mentioned before that I was sometimes actually kind of bad at standardized tests because I can often make a case for almost anything,
Mm-hmm.
say, to fit together. This might get a little risque, so I might cut this out of the
Okay.
radio version of this. But in one sense, clock might not fit
Mhm.
because the other three can be used
Oh,
regarding,
interesting. Interesting. I see where you're going.
say, a physical, affectionate
Yes.
activity.
Yes. I think we should keep this in. I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
In another way, pet might not fit. Well, let's say nail might not fit because pound and clock and pet are all things you could do to somebody with your hands. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Fletcher, you're making this. I can see. I actually have that same problem. I used to have. I had to like learn how to take tests because I do the same thing you do. I go, this, that.
You see, I was great at them because I would go, boom, it's that.
I had to learn. I had to learn because I'm always like, it could also be this and that and whatever, and then it's always like a mishmash. Okay, let's look at this as simply as possible.
I'm going to be really honest. I don't know what you're getting at with this. Pound, nail, clock, and pet. Which one of these is not like the other?
Okay, this comes from Merriam-Webster quiz. And
Okay.
the answer they gave us was pet. They said, so you were right the first time, however, your reasoning was not their reasoning. Their reasoning was that pound, nail, and clock can all refer to physically hitting. Pet can be used to describe a gentle stroke. And let's don't go to stroke now either. So go on.
I was gonna say that, but I don't really hear nail as physically hitting something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I guess like if I throw something and I could nail something if I threw something at it, but I don't think of that with like my fist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas pet it isn't physically hitting, but it is physically touching with my hand. So that's why I left nail. That's why I left nail out. I mean, that's what I was getting at a few moments ago. Well, I sort of see what they're saying, but I kind of disagree.
You know, as you were speaking very eloquently, because I actually am beginning to agree with you after we, just perfunctorily put this one question in. When I do nailing him on Google, I get hundreds of examples of crucifixion, nailing him to the cross. Oh. I don't get like nailing him, and I get your other meaning of nailing as well. I don't get.
Also, you're nailing someone in baseball. You nailed,
exactly.
Yes,
that's what
you're
I
right.
thought.
Yes,
and
that's good
I mean
too.
that could be two different things. You could have the pitcher hit the batter with the ball, or he just pegged him out at first or something,
Okay, so I think Fletcher. I think we're going to give Fletcher a good
pass
point
on
here.
that. I
you at
think
least
that
have to
his
give
is better.
me. Yeah, you got to give me a point for creativity at least.
Yes. Okay, let's move on to a grammar question instead. Maybe we can get him on this one, Kat.
I put it in. The question is, it's in there. Ready,
Okay.
let's go.
What's wrong with this sentence? Shall I read it?
Oh, okay. I have to give yes.
Okay. It's actually more challenging to catch a fish with a net than catching one with a fishing rod.
Okay, there's your choices.
Okay. Oh, good. You've given me choices. What's wrong with this sentence? Oh, you want to know which part is wrong? Okay.
Yes.
Correct.
A, it's, IT''S, it is. B, more challenging, is that part wrong? C, is the word catching wrong? I will now read the sentence again just so people can have it back in their head. It's actually more challenging to catch a fish with a net than catching one with a fishing rod. Well, the catching is wrong. I would say than it is to catch one with a fishing rod. Because more challenging refers to catch a fish. And so you wouldn't say it's actually more challenging catching one with a fishing rod.
Okay.
Right.
If you want to know like a rule behind that, I can't tell you because I don't know those things. But I'm pretty confident that I would change that to say it's more challenging to catch a fish with a net than it is to catch one with a fishing rod.
It's a parallel construction. You got the answer correct in that sense. It's more challenging catching, but then it's to catch, and then we have then catching. So it should be, as you said, it's more challenging to catch a fish with a net than to catch one. You don't need the it is, than to catch one. You're paralleling the verb there.
You want them to match.
Yeah. Yes.
Parallel constructions.
And they're both infinitives. To catch, to catch. That's what you want.
You could switch the first one and say it's actually more challenging catching a fish with a net than catching one with a fishing rod. And then it would match, right?
Then it would match. That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Which of these words is least like the others? Okay, we have spot, key, pickle, or jam. Spot, key, pickle, or jam. To me, I can think that you can be in three of those things, but not a key. You can be in a spot, which would be like a little bit of trouble, a spot of trouble, maybe. A pickle, which is also a bit of trouble, or a jam, which is also a bit of trouble. So key, I would say, is the least like the others in that case.
You got it.
Now we're doing pronunciation, as in you're saying it wrong.
And you chose a good word because I'm always not 100% sure. This is that little strip of land between two larger pieces of land.
Yeah, spell it out.
With water on both sides. Isthmus. I usually sort of slur it a little bit because I don't know if I'm just supposed to say isthmus or if I'm actually supposed to say isthmus. But I do think I usually use the TH. I think I usually say isthmus.
That would be wrong. You're saying it wrong.
So it's just isthmus?
Yes.
Yeah, I
hate TH is silent.
Although I think
there's another word that has a silent TH, another common one.
Asthma?
Yeah.
Yes.
That turns into sort of a Z sound for us, asthma.
Asthma, it does.
This doesn't. It doesn't seem like.
No.
It's still an S, isthmus. Why is the TH silent?
I think the etymology of it, I think the isthmus actually was it, let me just see. I think it was shoved in, but I'm not sure. Let's see. I think it's hard to say with the TH. No, it's from the Greek isthmos. That's right. I was thinking of that. And I don't know, actually. I'm just wondering if they ended up making it's from Latin isthmus, so I'm just wondering if they just shoved it in that way and then to make it sound good. But I don't know. I don't know, actually. I'm just checking.
Yeah,
I do know that when it is coming up to be isthmus season.
Oh, that reminds me of Russ. When I was a guy, I used to love Spanky and our gang, and I think it was Stymie, and the teacher said, use isthmus in a sentence, and he said, isthmus be my lucky day.
That's I like that one a lot. That's good.
I'm just seeing why.
I think it's just a pronunciation convention is what I think it is. It's difficult to pronounce, so we take it out. And then
that's it. They said the original spelling with the TH was retained, but pronunciation just became to isthmus, like asthma. Yeah.
I mean, so basically it was hard to say, and so we stopped saying it that way, and now you guys won't let me say it that way.
No.
Well, actually, Fletcher, you can say it that
way. And you can also...
Don't listen to us. You pronounce things as you wish to pronounce them.
You can also pronounce Colonel Colonel if you'd like.
Thank you.
No problem.
I've never wanted to, but now I have permission. All right, next up. I like hopping around with the questions like this. Okay, which word from Group B belongs with the words from Group A? And I'll read these a little slowly and carefully a couple times so that everybody can catch them. Group A, these are the words that we want to belong. Okay, blast, paper, box, and bank. Blast, paper, box, and bank. That's the in crowd. Okay,
right.
So Group B, which of these words belongs with blast, paper, box, and bank? Okay, the words are juice, bag, cradle, and carpet. Juice, bag, cradle, and carpet. Which of those belongs with blast, paper, box, and bank? This is going to be hard to track.
It's hard to also to say it out. You have to look at it. Really.
I don't know. I'll be honest.
I couldn't get this one either.
Do it. I can't do it.
Okay, I'm going to give you a quick guess. I mean, give you a little quick thing. Okay, we have sandblast.
Sandblast, sandpaper, sandbox, and sandbank.
Yes.
I suppose bag, then. We could sandbag.
Yes.
We don't really sand juice
Correct.
or sand cradle or sand carpet. I gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
We don't sand juice. I always have nothing.
A little sand juice.
Sand juice. Yeah.
Yum.
Okay, yeah, that's a really tough one. I don't think that really
is hard.
Sandbank to me is a word that I don't think I've ever said or used.
I
say a bank of sands, but I don't think I've ever said sandbank.
Well, that's really coincidental because I was reading an old noir mystery last night, and they sandbagged him. So.
Oh, sandbag! I know. I said sandbank. Ank.
Oh, sandbank? Sure. You're kidding?
Really? I've never said that. I would say a bank of sand.
Sandbank, Kathy, in Savannah.
Sandbank. I don't think I've ever said sandbank in my life.
I don't know what you were doing.
Sands.
What were you doing? We were going to the beach in Savannah.
Walking through the sand dunes.
Okay, I guess you're right. We have a Sandbanks Provincial Park in Ontario, though, so it's maybe that's also why. Next time you come to Ontario, we're going to go to Sandbanks Provincial Park.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Next question. Which sentence is correct? All right. Here are the two sentences. Neither one of us is capable of working tomorrow. Or neither one of us are capable of working tomorrow. I would say is, and I also think is correct. I don't know if you're going to tell me that either one can be correct.
No, we're not.
Okay. So
You're
it's
right.
is, because
Correct.
neither is.
Right. The temptation with people is seeing the us and making it our, not
Sure.
our.
Sure. But if I said both of us, then I could say are.
That is a typical hard question Fletcher asked.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing where I think you've told me in the past that you can say are, even though
I would say both of us are.
I would not say both of us is.
No, because both is a plural noun. Neither is what we're saying with neither is not either of the one is. Both of us are, because we're talking about two people automatically. With neither, we're saying not one, not the other. See what I'm saying? So there's a distinction there.
I got
that. That actually would have been a better way to do it, Kathy. We should have done neither of us is, both of us is, both of us are. Although you instantly, as soon as you see that, I hear both of us is not being good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that does seem wrong. Yeah.
Neither one of us is or neither one of us are. I don't hear it instinctively as quickly, I think, as the both.
I have to read this to you because it's so bad. This is the AI, Google AI, is that Gemini or something? Came up and it says both is always plural. Example, both of us are going to the party. Second example, the both children are happy.
Oh gosh.
Thanks guys.
Okay. The both children are happy.
Well, you could say both is correct, maybe.
All righty.
Okay.
Let's move along.
All right. Next one, etymology time. And as Ross said, not entomology time, at least not at this point. They want to know the word juggernaut. Does that come from Hindi, Dutch, Yiddish, or Japanese? I don't know whether it's because of how it looks or if I've read this somewhere before, but I think I'm going to say Hindi, even though I think it's something farther back than that, like a precursor to Hindi.
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Well, yeah, in a way, yeah. I mean, it comes from a Europeans hearing, Franciscans, or I think other Europeans hearing Indians supposedly throwing themselves on the wheels of a massive carriage of Vishnu, who's also called Jagannath, which would probably be Sanskrit, Lord of the World.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure they were throwing themselves onto the wheels. It could have been just a European fabrication. But the point is they took Jagannath as and they transliterated it into Juggernaut, an unstoppable force, just keeps on going. So
yeah,
you're right.
Looking, it does come from the Sanskrit. Yeah. From Jagat, the world, men and beasts, literally the moving, all that moves.
Yeah. So we actually, when we said Hindi, I think what we really should have said is Sanskrit, but Hindi is the language that they were speaking when they, referred to it. So
when Europeans pulled it over, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel like I halfway knew something.
Yeah.
On that one. All right.
Okay, this next one, let's see.
Okay, let's see here what we've got. You're going to have me tell you which of these sentences is correct. Grammatically, is that the right word here?
Yes.
Grammar? Are we talking grammar?
We're talking morphology. The word, we're talking grammar because we're talking about the part of the sentence that the word. We did have someone just saying, grammar versus words, but in this case we're talking about the case endings in a word. So we're talking grammar.
Okay.
Syntax we're talking technically, but yeah.
Ooh. All right. We're getting too complicated for me now. After recording another stellar episode of You're Saying It Wrong, Fletcher went to the cocktail party and talked to who? Or After recording another stellar episode of You're Saying It Wrong, Fletcher went to the cocktail party and talked to whom? Now, you're going to ask me which is correct. And the easy way for me to figure this out is to replace who or whom with he or him. So I would say after recording another stellar episode of You're Saying It Wrong, Fletcher went to the cocktail party and talked to him, which means whom is the correct answer.
You're right.
Well, now I personally pretty much ignore who and whom at this point. I may actually say whom in this case just because it sounds so obviously correct. But for the most part, even when I'm writing, I pretty much ignore who and whom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't really. I don't think. And I have noticed, I think what I find slightly distressing, I don't want to sound very pedantic on this one, is how many people say whom just because it sounds classier.
Or they throw
and
it in.
it's so wrong. And it's just, it does great on one. I think, though, that soon it's going to go by the wayside. I think that we're not going to really have any differentiation anymore. Don't you?
Oh, I do. And it's interesting because I agree with you. I tend to use whom fairly much, but fairly a fair amount. But listen to this one. Kathy, you talked to who? Kathy, you talked to whom? I would instantly say who there. It sounds even more correct. Doesn't it?
Kathy, you talked to whom sounds correct to me, but it sounds so insufferably stuffy. I can't handle it. No, you're right. I think, though, that, we're really going who. I think the world's going who, except for when they want to sound clever and then they say whom incorrectly.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that's fine. I don't think there's really a problem with that changing. I know a lot of people who are listening right now are very angry at me saying that, but I think it's fine. I don't think there's any real issue with just dropping the whom and moving to who on just about every case.
Oh, but I still write it. And I do say it in other contexts too, like Kathy does. Okay, next word. Pronunciation.
I have to pronounce this, I think, German word, which is always fun. Although this is a word that I think a lot of us are pretty familiar with at this point. It's just a matter of how hard you're going to nail me on the exact pronunciation. I think it is pronounced Schadenfreude.
Correct. Very good.
And I guess we usually hear people say Schadenfreude, which I think is fine as an American. Apologies to German speakers, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's like croissant. It's like it's okay if you anglicize it. Yeah. Schadenfreude is such a great word.
It is.
It really is.
I like it.
What does it literally translate to? Do you know?
Literally?
Because of course we know that German words are often made up of smaller German words, right? Sort of like our old English words were.
It comes literally from Schaden, which is damage, harm, or injury, and Freude, joy. So it's injury, joy, which makes complete sense.
Yeah. We're laughing at the misfortune of someone else.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's great.
It's funny, I love this, in 1867, the example they have from Carlyle, who said, the Schadenfreude, mischief joy, the Germans call it, but really it is justice joy.
It is sort of, actually, yeah.
Well, that's usually why I don't think we're necessarily prone to take delight in the misfortune of others if they didn't deserve it, right?
Of course,
it's true.
Yeah.
I also like this from Old High German. It comes from the Fra, which is literally hopping for joy. You're frolicking about.
I love that. The next one is from the ACT practice test. The next two, actually.
Yeah, first one I have a slight issue with. Let's read it and see.
Okay. In the following sentence, what should be done with the word largest? Okay, here's the sentence. The two principal types of kayaks are the easily maneuverable whitewater kayak and the largest sea kayak. Okay, well, this is another one of those problems I have with standardized tests.
This is my problem too, Fletcher. I'm going to go with you on this. Go on.
Yeah, they want to know what should be done with the word largest. I'll read it again. The two principal types of kayaks are the easily maneuverable whitewater kayak and the largest sea kayak. All right, my options are don't change anything. Change largest to very biggest. Change largest to more large, or change largest to larger. I'm going to read it with that last one in there. The two principal types of kayaks are the easily maneuverable whitewater kayak and the larger sea kayak. I suspect they want me to do that.
Yes.
I can make an easy argument that there should be no change.
Make that argument because I agree with you on this one. I'll tell you why I do, but go on.
Well, there could be multiple kinds of sea kayaks, and they're saying that the largest one is one of the two principal types. They're not saying the only types of kayaks.
Precisely. That's exactly what I went
through. Yeah.
Yeah. You have they have the whitewater kayak, the mid-level, calm water kayak. Right. Then they have a whole bunch, but the two principal ones they sell are the whitewater one and the largest sea kayak.
Right, yeah. The largest sea kayak. Those others, they exist, but people don't use them much, so they're not principal types. But, yep.
Exactly.
ACT, Fletcher, get it together.
I agree completely. But the technical thing that they're saying basically is you do a comparative. It technically should be, it's a comparative, so you're comparing to, and it's the ER. And then the superlative is the if two things are being compared, it's only the ER can be used. But I agree with what you're saying too completely.
I mean, they easily could have fixed that by just taking out the word principal.
Yep.
It may not be true. There may be other kinds of kayaks, but at least to fix the sentence, they could have taken out the word principal. The two types of kayaks are this one and the larger one.
And the larger one. That's correct.
Right. Yeah. All right. Okay, ACT. We'll see if you do any better this time. Haha. What should be done with the phrase makes them in this sentence? The Navajo language is complex, with a structure and sounds that makes them unintelligible to anyone without extensive exposure to it.
That's really, read it again, because it's a complex sentence.
I will. The Navajo language is complex, with a structure and sounds that makes them unintelligible to anyone without extensive exposure to it. So the way the sentence is written, it makes it sound like we're saying the Navajo language, makes them refers to the Navajo language, which doesn't make any sense.
You got it.
So we could not change it at all, which I would absolutely change that. You could change it to makes it with a structure and sounds that makes it. Well, that wouldn't work because structure and sounds are more than one thing. We want with a structure and sound that make it unintelligible to anyone without extensive exposure, because the structure and sounds, make, and it refers to the Navajo language.
Yep.
Right.
You got it. Perfect.
Verb and subject agreed then, and pronoun matches the noun. So
yeah, very good.
Nicely done, Fletcher.
Thank you. Oh, and one more from the ACT.
Yes.
All right. What should be done with a person in this sentence? All right. Opening a sealed tomb is like a person uncovering buried treasure. Opening a sealed tomb is like a person uncovering buried treasure. What should be done with a person? No change. Someone. Let's read it with someone. Opening a sealed tomb is like someone uncovering buried treasure. We could also use the phrase a potter.
Why did we put a potter in there, Kat?
I don't know, but it's cute.
Yeah.
Opening a sealed tomb is like a potter uncovering buried treasure.
I think you did that, Ross.
I think I was thinking my wife collects like old stoneware. And I think I just put that in. It's from the ACT, but I changed it a tiny bit. I think I put potter in. She was talking about stoneware pots, and I think I just automatically typed in potter. Okay, like an archaeologist, let's say.
Yeah.
I mean, like a pirate. Let's say a pirate. Yeah.
Or I could just get rid of a person and say opening a sealed tomb is like uncovering buried treasure. And that's what I'd do. I'd just get rid of a person.
Okay, why?
Because there is not anything doing the opening at the beginning. And so I'm just making that look like the other one.
Fletcher, you're bound for Harvard. That's very good. Right.
Who's paying his tuition, Ross?
He's going to get a scholarship at this point.
Oh,
A grammar scholarship. You got it, Fletcher. You're right. It's a parallel construction here like we had earlier. Opening and uncovering. So very good.
All right. And now pronunciation time again. Read this sentence. And since you said read this sentence, I am paying close attention to it. Had I not been, and I were just reading this out loud, I might actually mess it up. Anyway, the artist was promised generous remuneration for the commission.
Yay!
But I might very well at least stumble on remuneration, if not outright mispronounce it remuneration if I had just been reading that out loud and it had been in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of us would actually.
Yeah.
There are those who are that. Yeah, and we found that remuneration was listed. There was a study conducted by a British institute, and they found it was among the top 10 hardest words to pronounce, which makes sense.
Wow.
And then another thing, it was a voicemail to text conversion. A text conversion company said it was the third most commonly mispronounced word, which makes sense because I would say remuneration. Without thinking, I think.
You said remuneration, not you said. You
That's what I'm
it.
saying. That's what I would say. I would pronounce it incorrectly.
No, but you put an N there. You said remuneration. You switched the M and the N. It's remuneration.
Right. It's remuneration.
Oh,
I would say
see.
remuneration.
They're saying remuneration. I see what you're saying.
Most people switch the M and the N.
Wow. Oh, I thought the problem was the U, the remuneration U. That's what I thought.
No, the problem is the N. You think number.
Wow. Yeah, of course. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of money. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. You're getting riches, to harken back to our earlier, our earnings. Plural.
Earning. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of earning.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, is that it came from the root of the word is munis, like as in municipal.
Yep.
Which is where you get the mu.
Exactly.
Sure. Okay.
It means gift in Latin.
It's almost like there's a reason that the word is that way.
But I think it should be remuneration, personally. If we're getting rid of whom, we can get rid of remuneration and make it remuneration.
And if we're going to change isthmus to isthmus just because it's hard to say, let's just switch it.
Exactly.
This is where I go back to Noah Webster, who is my guy. Yeah, it was all for Noah Webster.
All right, I'm going to read this the way it's written, and don't start yelling yet, Kansans. Okay. All right.
Okay.
This is how it's written. This is from an 8th grade test given in Salinas, Kansas back in 1895 that was reprinted in the New Republic. One of the grammar questions. Here's the grammar question. What are the principal parts of a verb? Give principal parts of do, lie, lay, and run. Now, second part first, I have no idea. I don't know what principal parts of a verb are. But regarding the first sentence, this is from an 8th grade test given in Salinas, Kansas back in 1895. I don't know if there ever used to be a Salinas, Kansas, but there is no Salinas, Kansas now. Not only that, there is a town in Kansas, a city in Kansas without the S on the end that you might think is pronounced Salina, but it is not. It is pronounced Salina. Not only that, Salina, the city, is in the county of Saline.
Holy cow! Okay. Well, the New Republic, I have an axe to grind with you, a bone to pick.
It's actually interesting, though. Salina was I just looked it up. It was a fairly major town. I mean, it's not it's not a village. It's a little city. Yeah,
it's a city. It's on I-70, and so there's lots of traffic through there.
Well, I wonder if they did have that test then.
I bet they did, and the Republic added an S because you would think like Salinas,
yeah,
California.
You automatically do that. Yeah. So you want to give us.
I was going to say, if we're running out of time.
Why don't you tell me about the principal parts of a verb, though, just so
okay, basically in grammar, we have present tense, present participle, past tense, and past participle. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So now let's go through, let's handhold you and go through to do. Let's do.
Okay. Do,
Present tense.
do, past
Right.
tense did,
Right.
present participle.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what.
Ing.
Doing.
Right.
Doing.
Right.
Oh, right. Doing.
So are you done now, Fletcher? What about past participle?
And I am done. Wait, what's that one? That's a past participle?
Yes.
Correct.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay, we're
I'm
running out
never
of
gonna-
time.
Yeah, we
Okay,
are
so let's
running
just, we're running out of time, so let's do the last one. Run. Let's do that, Fletcher.
Run, ran, running, ran,
Run.
ran, run,
I
run. I had run. Oh, I had
Yes,
run.
You got it.
For the final
Wow.
pronunciation, just because I want to hear Ross blow it.
Oh, no.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh,
ha.
no.
All right, Ross, can you pronounce this word?
Now, this one, Kathy noted this, that we used to drive a lot down to New York City, and we went through a place called Schenectady.
Which is harder to say than this.
It
one
is. It is. And I've studied ancient Greek for many, many years, and this is an ancient Greek word. So Kathy always laughs at my pronunciation. Let me try it right now, see if I can get it right. Synecdoche. Is that right?
Hey, there you go. You
Correct.
did it.
Synecdoche. Yeah.
Synecdoche.
Synecdoche.
What I do a lot of times is I do the ska in there for Schenectady, and then a lot of times I do the Synecdoche because of
He does a huh.
the ch because of the Greek. It's just a mess. I kept saying it over and over as Kathy was yelling at me on Friday. So I think I finally
was
got
yelling.
it. I finally
I
got it
beat
in
it
my
into your
head.
head, Ross.
Then meanwhile I was
Synecdoche.
doing it, and then my wife came in and goes, "It's not Schenectady, it's Schenectady." I said, "I'm not talking about the city."
Well, I've told you both before that there's a movie called Synecdoche, New York, and I always get corrected by
Yeah.
people who think
I know.
they're like, "Oh no, it's Schenectady." It's like, "Oh, thank you." No, it's not.
Oh, good and tight.
You're Saying It Wrong is part of the NPR network and is produced in the studios of KMUW in Wichita, Kansas by me, Fletcher Powell. Kathy Petrus records from her home in Armia, Spain, Ross Petrus from his home in Toronto, Ontario in Canada. Torrent Anderson composed our theme music, and our digital team is Beth Golay and Carly Cooper. You can find all of our past episodes by subscribing to the You're Saying It Wrong podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or by visiting us at kmuw.org. If you have a question for Kathy and Ross, if you'd like to suggest a topic, or you just want to reach out, you can email me at powell@kmuw.org or email them at kandrpetrus@gmail.com. You can also email us a voice memo of you asking your question. You might get your voice heard on air. If you'd like to do the same thing by downloading the KMUW app, you can do that and just click the Talk to Us button. You can find all of Kathy and Ross's books pretty much anywhere you get books, and a handful of them are also available on audiobook read by the authors themselves. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.